a bag of gummies, a hotel room wall, and a whole lot of blood. Here's how Howie Mandel nearly ended up the star of his very own true crime series. In February 2024, Howie Mandel and his wife of more than 40 years, Terry Mandel, enjoyed a night on the town in Las Vegas. However, a weed gummy-induced stumble a few hours after the couple returned to their hotel room dramatically changed the course of the evening and led Terry to end up in the hospital. Speaking in an interview on Live with Kelly and Mark, Howie explained that it all began when he and Terry went out for dinner that evening. After the meal, they returned to their hotel room to watch TV. The couple fell asleep with the show on, but at some point, Terry decided to get up and, in her tipsy state, took a wrong turn.
I don't know where she was headed, but she headed into the wall.
That wasn't all, though, as it seems Terry gave herself a genuine injury.
She slipped, went down, hit that on her eye, then fell on the floor and broke her cheek.
As for Howie, he woke up to a thud and a screech and a whole lot of blood. But that was just the beginning of this true non-crime scenario. As Howie went on to recount, Terry's reaction to his efforts to help only made things worse.
She's going, get me ice, get me ice. I don't know where to get ice.
Yeah.
So instead, he took some soda cans from the hotel minibar. Suffice it to say, the injured Terry Mandel couldn't quite handle the sensation of the cans.
I took a can of soda and I put it on her head and she went, no, because it hurt. And she went and she threw it across the room.
In the midst of all that, Howie realized he could see his wife's skull and so quickly called for help. Of course, things looked a little suspicious when security then arrived at the room. As an exasperated yet amused Howie pointed out,
my wife's lying on the bed. There's blood everywhere. There's cans strewn across the room. Snapped is on TV.
Security began snapping pictures of the room, which by that point resembled a full-blown crime scene. Making matters worse, Howie was unable to say what had happened as he still didn't know himself.
I don't know what happened. They asked her, they don't know what happened. I said, please, just call 911. I love this lady. Please, let's just take care of her.
Speaking to TMZ a short while later, Howie explained that security had questioned him after the incident, even going as far as to pin him against the TV. They only calmed down once Terry realized how everything looked from an outside perspective and began to laugh. Cue a very grateful Howie, and at long last, a much-needed trip to the hospital for Terry. Although Howie originally told Live with Kelly and Mark that he'd realized his wife was drunk when they got to the hospital, he made a point of correcting himself when he spoke to TMZ. The reason for this slight mistruth was that Terry Mandel had been worried that people might question her drinking. He explained, "She's so worried that people are going to intervene. She doesn't have an alcohol problem. I'm gonna tell you the truth. She took gummies." It's not clear why Howie decided not to mention that Terry had taken weed gummies from the start. However, it's not hard to see why she wasn't happy with the story being told of her falling over while drunk. After all, not long after Howie's Kelly and Mark appearance, USA Today used the incident as the starting point of an article discussing the dangers of alcohol consumption. Regardless of what contributed to her horrific fall, Howie told Kelly and Mark that she'd since recovered.
She is absolutely perfect. There is not a scar. She is beautiful.